This weekend I met up with Will Collins, who, by the way, is an excellent motorcycle photographer that you should check out on Instagram if you haven't already. You see, he's about to sell his tricked out Thruxton R, so when he dropped me a line to see if I wanted to take it for a little spin, I thought it might be my last chance, so I snapped his hand off. But first, here's Will taking us through all the changes he's made to the bike. So Will's going to tell us about his Thruxton R, which he's done plenty of modifications to, I believe.
Yeah, little bits here and there. Try and make it kind of as I think Triumph should have maybe made it from factory. Internally, absolutely bone stock, because it's just too expensive to swap out cams and stuff like that. But starting from the front, AJ Cycles were kind enough to supply a blacked out headlight bracket. It kind of makes it all just disappear really. And then with the previous owner had nicely fitted the LED indicators.
So you got it second-hand this bike?
Yeah, second-hand, 1,600 miles on, 2 previous owners. No idea if they actually rode it or just pushed it to the local shop. Since owning it, I've had it for a year, just shy of 8,000 miles. So from the clock brackets coming down is this lovely, sleek, brushed metal alley front mudguard. The stock one just looked kind of tacky and plastic, and it's got these silver bits on the side, and I just didn't like it, covered up too much of the wheel. The bracket's nice and hidden, which is really, really cool, and it opens it up a lot more and it gives it that kind of minimalistic look. Brakes wise, all I've fitted is Brembo race pads. Triumph were kind enough to supply braided lines, still staying front end. For some reason Triumph want to keep it retro and have a little bit of play in the throttle. Ducati have the same housing, and there's 2 small rubber spacers in here, and it completely eradicates any dead zone, so it's instant throttle, which is absolutely fantastic. From? Somewhere in the States, I honestly cannot remember. Yeah, it completely transformed the throttle. Instant pickup, that you don't have to kind of preload the throttle, which is kind of annoying on a bike that's brand new, essentially. Moving back, really, really simple. This is normally the other way around. I'm not entirely sure why. Lockable, very, very simple to just flick it around. It looked quite odd with it at the front. Again, just a small aesthetic kind of thing. Coming down, another quick one, blacked out EFI fake carb cover thing. It goes along with the theme of me trying to black out everything, so keep them working back, but staying high. The tail tidy from R&G. Coming forth, we've got these were a very important upgrade. So 2 weeks in, as I said, I was in the Cafe Racer Cup. I learned very quickly that this has ground clearance issues, namely with the stock foot pegs. So I was grounding out at almost every single corner. So as soon as that was finished, I started looking at different options, different rear set options, but because this is all kind of one unit, there's not a lot to really go by. And then I managed to find these eccentric adjusters, jacked it up and back a little bit, 25mm, and so far, both times at Mallory that I've been, not a single problem with ground clearance, just my body position. Another very important mod, I'd say, alongside the foot pegs, when I first got this bike, coming from a speed triple, it revs out a bit more. This, 6,500, 7,000 red line, I was hitting the limiter constantly. A lot of research and kind of pinging back and forth, and I've managed to get, if you squeeze in there, a company called, can't remember what they're called, but they supply from Canada next up quick shifter, push type quick shifter. Speaking to somebody who worked at Triumph and worked on the quick shift type system, they've got the plug for the quick shifter already on the bike, but because of the heat coming off the exhaust, they didn't want to fit one and didn't want to give the option of the stock Triumph quick shifter. Econoseal plug off of eBay, the next up quick shifter, everything plugs straight in, and it's absolutely fantastic, transforms it.
So that's just for upshifts, yeah? Just
for upshifts, it's not blipping or anything like that, so you still have to rev match and all that sort of stuff. But it's absolutely brilliant for track. You can still quite happily bimble around, and one thing I found very quickly was if you change without it from like third to fourth, fourth to fifth, fifth to sixth. Occasionally you'll get a massive backfire, and it sounds brilliant, and I've scared quite a few children with it. When I got the bike originally, it came with Vance and Hines, and then in a box the stock cans, and it still had the cat on, and the stock exhaust comes somewhere out here. I did not like them. Thanks to Thruxton boys on Instagram, they had Cone Engineering shorties, and I was looking about. They're quite expensive, but I loved how they came behind the line of the axle. It's kind of a much shorter, much more compact kind of look. Looking around, I eventually found on a website called Square Deals, these from a company called Westlake. They were considerably cheaper than Cone Engineering.
Yeah, I've got the Westlake slash cuts on mine as well.
Yeah, and fantastically made, absolutely brilliantly made. Sound ridiculous. Once you fit the decat, the stock cans sound better than a cat with a Vance and Hines. And you've saved yourself a whole bunch of money. And then if you do want to go louder, get these.
Trying to get I can't really get a view on the decat, but for anyone who doesn't know, it's in there.
Yeah, it's the original cat is this big pig looking thing, and it weighs probably 4 or 5 times heavier than the decat, which is literally just kind of straight through pipe with all the fittings and stuff. And I've considered renaming it Moses, the way that when filtering it literally just parts traffic. It's absolutely fantastic. The only other bike that I've had which has been on par was my VTR 1000 SP1 with race cans on, GPR race cans. One last thing, BG Motorsport set up the suspension at Bike Shed Festival, at the Cafe Racer Cup, and it's hard on the road, perfect for the track, and I absolutely love it. When I first got on it, I wasn't too sure about it. It seemed a bit wallowy. I'm guessing the previous owner was considerably lighter than myself, but as soon as they set it all up, it absolutely transformed the bike.
Woo! All right, Will's kindly agreed to let me just take his Thruxton for a little spin. Oh, that's lovely. That sounds so good. Don't know if you can hear that little crackle on deceleration, but it sounds awesome. So we've got X pipe fitted and shorty cone exhaust. I hope you guys are getting decent audio. I've only got one mic in my helmet, but oh, it sounds so good. It's so good because it's so familiar to me. Rev matching on the downshifts and stuff, like it just feels completely natural because it's so similar to the Street Twin in so many ways, but it's just crisper and so much more power and quite a bit louder with that X pipe as well. It's just bloody awesome. If I was living out of London, riding country lanes like this all the time, hands down I would consider Thruxton. Hello mate. It's
from second upwards.
Is it? Okay, so first to second, use the clutch.
Then second upwards.
To be honest, I forgot it had a quick shifter until I was in second anyway.
Yeah.
It's wicked.
Yeah.
Just like bang through the first, yeah, alright. What do you think of the brakes?
What brakes?
Yeah, exactly. They're awful, aren't they?
Like that's the bar.
But they do come in eventually, but you've just got to squeeze.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's all good. All right, I'll follow you. It's not actually that uncomfortable as well. I reviewed it some time ago, the Thruxton R. I think I rode it around London. I got one from Metropolis before it shut down and rode it around town. And yeah, maybe an hour of riding in London didn't feel that comfy, but actually even with these little rear sets, yeah, and the sort of clip-ons, I mean these are quite high up for clip-ons, it's comfy. Anyway, Will was saying I should drop back a little bit because there's a good corner up here and then onto a straight where I can give it a bit of gas and go through the gears of the quick shifter. This is the first time I've ever ridden a bike with a quick shifter, so it's very novel and fun for me. I wonder if you can get one for the street twin. Oh my goodness. See, the thing is, back there I was even just rolling off the throttle each time I use the quick shifter, but all you got to do is keep it pinned and then knock through it. Will was saying he thought the brakes could be better on this bike. Obviously, to me, coming off the street twin, they feel amazing. But yeah, of all the mods that he's done, it's the X-pipe and exhaust that just make the difference to riding this bike. It just sounds incredible. That and the quick shifter, it's so much fun. There's been quite a lot of cafe racers launched lately, hasn't there? I suppose you've got the Z900 RS Cafe, Continental GT from Royal Enfield. What else have we got? The Kawasaki W800 did a little fared version. But like, hands down, this still has to be the king of production cafe racers. Name a better one, let me know in the comments. But I don't think it exists. I'm feeling for Will here, he mustn't be enjoying this. It's like a similar bike with half the power and none of the brakes. Yeah, this is only a short blast, but pretty awesome. Thanks to Will for letting me film and ride his bike, as well as talking to us about the mods. As I mentioned at the top of the video, I'd really recommend checking out his awesome Instagram feed. And if you're interested in his bike, I'm sure he wouldn't mind you dropping him a DM. Let me know what you think of the bike in the comments. To me, it's pretty much the ultimate Thruxton. What else could be done to improve it? And also, if you're new here and you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe and I'll see you next time.